What's up, my family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews. And today we're going to be discussing one of my top 5 MCU films of all time, and that's Captain America: The Winter Soldier, back from 2014. And this movie, oh my God, uh, what a change in direction from Marvel, where here they introduce us to a new set of directors. They introduce us to a different plot, a different scheme of kind of a movie. This was a espionage thriller, which, man, definitely works, especially in this climate of Captain America and the way he stands today. At this time in the movie, I have to say I enjoyed Chris Evans as both Captain America and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. It's a sad day and age where heroes are nowhere to be found in comic books, as source material for films get taken and thrown out every day. But Chris Evans, man, we can't say nothing bad about this man. This man really took this role by the horns and definitely became not only Steve Rogers, but Captain America. Marvel continues to ride high, or rode high, after the success of the original Avengers Assemble and led into this film. The Winter Soldier is a far, far superior sequel to the original Captain America, the first Avenger, and no knocks to that film, but this film just knocked it out the park. It continues where that film left off, and they take us through a journey in which it captivates us in such a way. You know, unlike the first film, this doesn't descend into a lot of CGI. It's not a mess throughout the film or even in the second half, and instead it remains a tight, compelling right up to the climax and throughout. And what I loved about the movie, it has a retro feel. It has that 70s political thriller type feel going on, with Chris Evans cast as a frontless figure, basically out of his time and out of his depth, at the mercy of a sinister and unknown force, which throughout the film they take us through. Also, what I like about the film is they introduce us to major players, not only in this movie, but for the future. I love the way they brought back Samuel Jackson, who is phenomenal in his role here, but we'll talk about him a little later. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, her chemistry and the way they team her with Captain America in this film was second to none. The fast-paced narrative includes all manner of martial arts-based fight scenes. Although relying on CGI at times, they're still exciting to watch. The elevated sequence is a real highlight, and this scene was, you can tell it was expertly staged. The effects are generally above average, and the humor is there. The camaraderie at these films are known for both present and astronomical. You can tell that they really outdid themselves. They also introduced us to a role from Robert Redford that it's gonna be memorable. You know, just to include a legendary actor like this in a movie was awesome. You know, I wouldn't call this movie the best if it wasn't. To me, this movie was a certified masterpiece. And throughout the film, throughout the runtime, this movie is basically, it doesn't disappoint. And you know, let's get straight to this, man. I've been looking forward to reviewing this movie for so long. I just quite didn't have the time. And I said, you know what, once I start doing these Marvel Universe movies, this is going to be the one where I'm going to take my time on and not get into true detail, because I don't want to spoil the entire movie for those who haven't seen it already. And if you haven't seen this movie, man, you've been living under a rock. It's one of the best action political thrillers, Marvel movies of the decade, I think. And we're gonna go straight into it, man. Captain America takes on spies, literally, in this movie. We get welcomed to new directors Anthony and Joe Russo, a pair of brothers who were fairly unknown up to this point. And I'm glad that Marvel said, here, take the keys and let's go in your direction, because they did not disappoint. Their superhero espionage thriller, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, from 2014, was very enthralling. You know, I finally got to see the hype around the majority of audiences saying that this was the film that really launched Marvel, although Iron Man from 2008 definitely catapulted this franchise and definitely started it off in the right way, but I felt like this film, it changed the narrative of the MCU. It wasn't just a child, teen-driven franchise. No, older people could watch this movie now and actually have the foresight to connect things to one another. And that's what I loved about the movie, man. They're so complex with their characters and story and plot. And this movie definitely did that. To me, Winter Soldier is one of the greatest Marvel films and just greatest films of all. I put this above The Dark Knight, and I'm a big Batman fan. Jesus Christ, I'm a big Batman fan, but this movie did it for me. The Russo brothers captured thrilling action sequences with complex hand-to-hand combat, which was a delight to see for both Captain America and Black Widow. That makes them look like excellent trained fighters in this movie, which I loved because in the comic books, that's exactly what they are. You get producers here, Stan Lee, may he rest in peace, and Kevin Feige, the genius behind this whole Marvel universe. And they were smart to entrust the Russos with Captain America's second movie, especially this solo film. I loved that most of the Winter Soldier focuses on Captain America and Black Widow as these two Avengers, superheroes, make for the most interesting and believable spies for America through S.H.I.E.L.D. And I personally appreciate Anthony and Joe Russo making a proper espionage thriller with a real spy work and political intrigue as Hydra invades S.H.I.E.L.D. with covert tactics, hidden computers, and secretive files that come into play later on in the film. It's very cool to see Marvel's cinematic universe give Captain America a chance to defend America with a modern espionage skills alongside his awesome combat and prowess, right? Kudos to go to the writers. Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely really came up with not only a neat spy narrative, but such a multi-layered narrative with Hydra's infiltration of S.H.I.E.L.D. from senators to soldiers to political figures, all alike. Their intricate spy story is not only fascinating, but it definitely propels the story forward. As they blend sleeper cell agents like the Winter Soldier with Hydra's human experimentations and warmongering, which this movie is all about. They breathe life into Captain America's values as a patriotic American, and moral man desiring a peaceful life. They go in depth with that, a person that's so morally available that they start to second guess. Damn, do I have to start thinking about the people I love, or should I start actually thinking about my country, which I always did? And definitely puts that into balance. I was sincerely touched by Chris Evans, Steve Rogers segments where he goes to the Captain America Museum to exhibit and to reminisce on old familiar sights while deciding if he could ever date a woman that is not the love of his life, Peggy Carter. Chris Evans is really heartfelt as Rogers and inspiring as ever as Captain America. I love the way he plays the two roles. I don't think anybody could have played it like he does. He really puts himself in the role. He really is Steve Rogers and Captain America. He plays the hell out of those two roles. Evans plays up Rogers so emotional, with such an emotional depth that it's just fun to see. His emotions seeing Haley Atwell's Peggy Carter once more alongside Bucky in unfavorable circumstances in the museum makes him think. You completely understand and empathize with his character, his conflicted ideals and feelings. Chris Evans embodies Captain America's kindred spirit, steadfast bravery, and inspiring perseverance. Chris Evans is not only handsome in the role, he's charming, funny, gentle, he's moving, he's strong, and is very, very likable as Captain America. Clearly a career-defining role and performance for him. He was excellent And the casting of his character, man, kudos to you guys. But now we're gonna get to his counterpart in this movie, which is Scarlett Johansson, who's breathtaking, gorgeous as Black Widow, as she takes out men like they're nothing in battle after battle. Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff charms with her sultry, flirting, and playful teasing of Steve Rogers throughout the film. She's got a great chemistry with Chris Evans, and it fits the espionage information that's being told throughout the story, which I liked a lot. You could tell she seeks this cute and romantic banter, which basically is flirting throughout the film with Steve Rogers, but it doesn't get any further than that. I love that. I was amazed by her Black Widow fight sequences with her crazy acrobatic combats, which were choreographed beautifully besides her cool gadgets and quick thinking. You can tell that Johansson is simply charming and lovable as the former Soviet spy, as we get just a little bit of backstory from her. And, she admires and befriends Captain America. Scarlett's Natasha Romanoff feels genuine, friendly, funny, and intelligent with her serious dramatic acting and subtle facial nuances, if you know Scarlett Johansson. She will forever be one of Hollywood's finest actresses, not just for this role, but, for other roles. Ghost in the Shell, Lucy, and eventually her own film, Black Widow, which we'll get to in other segments. I love her as Black Widow in every Marvel film that she's been in, including Iron Man 2, the Avengers. I feel like she's just phenomenal. She was the perfect Black Widow. And in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, you could tell that Haley Atwell is also genuine as ever as Peggy Carter with this wonderful touch scene with Chris Evans in the film. I wish Marvel had given A.G. Carter a more proper role, although they did give her like a spinoff, a show. But I wanted her more in the movies. Haley Atwell was not only gorgeous, but you could tell that she really dove into character as well. Robert Redford is captivating as Alexander Pierce, as he monologues about human safety and spy necessity. He feels right back into place with his subtle espionage acting, like in 3 Days of the Condor or All the President's Men back in the day. But he was awesome in his role. Samuel Jackson, oh my God. This man is so fantastic and gripping as S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury with his ethics speeches, his motivational guidance for Captain America. His action scenes are pretty clever as well. He has one of the best scenes in the movie. Toby Jones could not be more fun with just his distinctive voice in this film. Jones is always a staple of spy thrillers. Sebastian Stan as the Winter Soldier was the movie. He's fearsome and brooding, and Sebastian Stan really knocks it out the park. He does star in the first Captain America film, which we see him die. Spoiler alert if you don't see part one. And he comes back in this one as the Winter Soldier. You could tell they kind of did some things to him. They found him, gave him a new arm, and he has this confidence about him where you feel Bucky's confusion and his determination as he kills person after person while wondering who Captain America is to him. We get the introduction of Anthony Mackie, who's Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, who's funny and sincere as a patient veteran counselor while succumbing to his role in the Marvel Universe. I love the introduction to him in this film. It started, especially towards the beginning of the film, when you see him jogging in Washington, D.C. alongside Captain America. And you can tell that he worships Captain America. And he's such a loyal and devoted partner and eventually co-hero to him, which I loved that dynamic. While also coming across as helpful and cool as the Falcon. He has one of the best suits, but what I liked about his character also is he comes off very human. You know, he's a paraman in the military, and that's where he basically gets his skill from. He doesn't necessarily have a power, and I like that. That's like another Captain America, just without the serum. And I thought that was very unique to introduce him in this film. He was perfect. We have Kobe Smothers here, who's the wonderful Miss Agent Maria Hill, one of S.H.I.E.L.D's stalwarts, and with her sharpshooting and natural gravitas as a leader, she comes across as a very, very intelligent character. We have Emily Van Camp, who's lovely and sweet as Sharon Carter. Her Agent 13 feels skillful and reliable with honest morals, just like Captain America. And ultimately here you have Frank Grillo, who's easy to hate as Brock Rumlow. And we all know that Brock Rumlow in the comics turns into Crossbones. We have Gary Shandling's cameo, which is very funny. We have Stan Lee and Joe Russo's cameos are neat as well. It was cool to see Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson already before the Age of Ultron. They teased at the end of this film, which I love because they basically give you that introduction to the next film. You know, shout outs go to editors Jeffrey Ford and Matthew Schmidt, who continue a fast-paced film throughout this movie. The runtime goes by like this. It's about 136 minutes of sharp cuts. The action flows nicely, and the heavy dialogue of espionage exposition never lets you get lost with their natural edits. Cinematographer Trent Opelak gives us steadfast wide shots for action and conversion, so we see everything. I left all the close-up shots, all the medium shots here with a real sleek look. All the sets, the props, the CGI, which is very little in this film, and sound design are very, very impressive. The composer, oh my God, the music in this film goes with the film. Harry Jackman's score for The Winter Soldier it's an adrenaline rush for not only the film, but for the action sequences, while creating this moody atmosphere for that spy thriller element. The espionage is the main plot, and Jackman's Ten's music contributes a lot of emotion. The costume designer, Juliana, creates slick uniforms, not only for Black Widow, but I think Captain America and the Winter Soldier have some awesome, awesome looks in this film. I think Captain America's outfit in this movie is the best Captain America outfit. And it remains thought-provoking about government power extending too far and shadow games carried out by assassins and spies alike, which I loved about the film. I love the character development for Steve Rogers and for Natasha Romanoff. You know, the Russo brothers pulled off some of Marvel's most engaging action sequences with Captain America and the Black Widow. The Winter Soldier stayed with me as a formidable espionage thriller, which was this made well film. You know, the elevator scene in this film, the beginning of the film in the boat, Captain America jumping off the plane without a parachute. All these elements make for an outstanding film. And to me, it's one of Marvel Studios' best works of today. You know, this movie is the real turning point in the MCU timeline. It's well done by the directors because the movie kept all the charms and heroic moments of what Captain America was really about. Great action combined with personal drama makes this a brilliantly awesome movie. So definitely go check this out. I give this movie a 10 out of 10, easily. This movie is one of the best films out there. Go check it out and let me know what you think in the Discord. If you liked this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And if you want more content from me, all you gotta do is subscribe. Appreciate you. To the next one. Peace.